This wingfoil guide explains how to change stance, also known as a foot swap. We provide training steps to practice with less risk, then explain the different types of foot swap in detail. Whatever foot swap you're working on, there are simple training steps to practice with less risk. The slowest and safest way to practice is while taxiing. The support of the water under the board allows for small errors. After that, you can practice during a touchdown, taxiing at higher speed. You drop to a taxi and swap stance while still riding at about foiling speed. After swapping stance like this, you may be able to take off again. After this, the next step is foiling foot swaps, but riding low to the water and with only just enough speed to foil. You're very likely to touch down on the water with these low, slow foot swaps, but it's a great way to get your first foiling foot swaps under your belt. From there, you gradually add starting height and just a little more speed, and it shouldn't be long until you can foot swap without touching down. The simplest method for swapping stance is where you first narrow your stance so you can make a small hop into the new stance. Let's look at that toeside to heelside swap in more detail. Ride crosswind. A low to medium speed will be sufficient. Keep the mast almost upright, only slightly rolled into a toeside lean. Shuffle your feet to narrow your stance. Guide the wing up to support some of your weight and to reduce the sideways force from the wing that could pull you out of position. From your narrowed toeside stance, you can get into heelside with a relatively small movement. To further minimize movement, hop and just rotate your hips. Try not to move your upper body. Once in heelside, you can shuffle your feet if needed into your preferred heelside stance. Let's look at that riding the other way. Narrow your stance. Raise the wing. Hop into heelside, moving just your lower body. Adjust foot position if needed. And lower the wing to accelerate. The same technique can be used to swap from heelside stance into toeside stance. Ride crosswind. Have the mast almost vertical, just slight roll towards heelside. Narrow your stance. Guide the wing higher. Use a small hop and rotate your hips to get into toeside stance. Shuffle your feet into your preferred toeside position. Let's look at that riding the other way. During a foot swap, you should try to maintain the same center point for your feet. That will mean that your weight stays in roughly the same place on the board and the board handles in roughly the same way. If you move your foot placement too much, then your weight will be applied on a different part of the board. For example, if you move your foot placement forward during a swap, then your weight will be applied further forward and the board will drop. Or if you move your foot placement to the side, then the board will suddenly roll to that side. To avoid moving your overall foot position, firstly, ride with the mast almost upright without too much roll. Secondly, try to keep the wing high so it's not pulling sideways. And thirdly, focus on rotating your lower body on the spot and not moving your body around. I'd recommend that during your first taxi foot swaps, you self-assess and check whether you manage to keep more or less the same position on the board. The narrow stance swap that we've shown so far makes swaps easier because you're less likely to move out of position during that tiny movement. As you develop the skill of holding position on the board, however, you should soon be able to swap stance without narrowing your stance. As you build experience, there is another version of the foot swap that you can work on. This is a nose hold foot swap. Basically, you move your original back foot first, then very briefly have 2 feet forwards nearer the nose, and then you place the new back foot. Let's walk through a toe side to heel side swap. Start low with medium speed or more. Guide the wing up to support some of your weight and reduce its horizontal pull. Pump down on the back foot to get your board and your body climbing. Bring your back foot forwards and tuck it against your original leading foot. As soon as the new front foot is holding the board, move the old front foot back. Of course, you can also do heel side to toe side swaps like this. The nose hold swap is more complex, so it isn't a great option for your first swaps. Most beginners will find that they simply dive the board down when they put both feet forward near the nose. To avoid diving the nose, you need to be foiling with more speed, and use a climbing start, and have faster footwork. Despite the complexity, this technique does have some nice advantages. Firstly, it works well when riding with more speed. At speed, the foil lifts more, so it can be helpful to keep a foot nearer the nose to control the board and stop it shooting up. This method is also great for ensuring quick and accurate foot placement. Because you hit your back foot into the front foot, you know you haven't changed foot position much. Then as long as you step back far enough, you should be in roughly the same position on the board. With this method, a climbing start is usually required. The rider starts with a bump on the back foot, which gets their board and body climbing. This then gives you much longer to swap stance before dropping down, compared to a level start. This idea can be used for any foot swap, although if you overdo it, you will breach, of course. Foot swaps can be done riding downwind or upwind, but they are generally easiest while riding crosswind. Crosswind riding means you get reliable apparent wind in your wing, and the mast is not rolled to the side, which could upset your balance. If you were riding fully upwind, on the other hand, you have quite a lot of roll. Also, you have more force in the wing. The roll and the force of the wing can easily move your weight out of position. So you need to be faster and more accurate to swap while riding hard upwind. Swapping stance while riding too far downwind can also be challenging. You lose the reliable force from the wing, and you may start to feel unstable. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you learn to change stance.